Welcome to Mastering Photoshop, and let's have a look at Introduction to Adobe Photoshop for Beginners. I'm going to take you on a tour of Adobe Photoshop interface with an assumption that you're opening the software for the first time. So let's get started with the toolbar. We have the first tool called Move tool, and as the name suggests, you can move an image or the text or anything which is movable. Now the next tool is Marquee tool, and when you click on the Marquee tool, you'll realize there is a small arrow in one corner. If you keep your mouse clicked over there for a couple of seconds, you'll see there are a few more tools inside this button, and this is called flyout menu. So most of the in CS6, most of the tools, almost every tool has got the flyout menu style hidden options inside. In order to select the other options, you have a shortcut key assigned to this tool on the keyboard. So the Marquee tool has got a shortcut key assigned, that is M. So if you press M on the keyboard, you will get the Marquee tool selected. However, if you press Shift and M again, then you automatically change the option of Marquee tool. So now let's see what you do with the Marquee tool. So with the rectangular Marquee tool, you can select the rectangular shapes, and of course you can either delete them or you can fill them with the color, or you can move them. So once you select the rectangle, or if you make the selection with the rectangular Marquee tool, you can paint on that area, you can delete that area, or you can move that area. You can also add the selections. So if I select some area with the rectangular Marquee tool, I can hold on Shift key and add some more selection to it. And I can also subtract this selection by holding on Alt key on the keyboard and select the area you want to subtract from the selection. You can also move this area. So if you want to move the selection, you can hold on Control key, and that will change your pointer tool with this new icon, and you can now move the selection. And now you also have a elliptical Marquee tool. So if you hold Shift and drag your mouse with the elliptical Marquee tool, it will give you a perfect circle. And if you don't hold any key and if you draw freehand, then it will give you elliptical shape. And similar to the rectangular Marquee tool, you can hold on Shift key and it will give you plus sign alongside the cursor, and you can add to your selection with Shift key hold on. If you hold on Alt key and drag the selection, it will subtract the shape. However, you can also combine the rectangular Marquee tool with addition and subtraction of the selection. Similarly, with the rectangular Marquee tool, if you hold on Shift key, you can draw or select the perfect square. And beside these two Marquee tools, you have the single row Marquee tool, and that on a click of a mouse it will give you a row, that is a line across the canvas, which is 1 pixel in height. And similarly, you have the column marquee tool, and this is again a whole column with a single pixel width. Frankly speaking, I have never used this except for when I make calendars and where you have to use the columns and rows. So that's the only place I have used the single row marquee tools. Now next tool is the lasso tool, and the shortcut key for the lasso tool is L. Hit L on the keyboard and you get lasso tool. And the lasso tool again has got few other tools inside it. So one is the polygon lasso tool and another one is a magnetic lasso tool, and you can access them by holding on shift and pressing L again on the keyboard, and you can shuffle through the options of lasso tool. So lasso tool can give you a freehand selection, and similar to the marquee tools, you can add to your selection by holding on shift key on the keyboard and subtract from your selection by holding on alt key on the keyboard. Similarly, you can add the elliptical marquee tool with the shift key. You can add elliptical shapes to the selection, and with holding on alt key you can subtract the selections. Now let's go to the polygon lasso tool. Polygon lasso tool allows you to select polygons. So you can click here and release your mouse, click on the next point, release your mouse, click on the next point, click, and click on the start point. Now the hidden part is that you can create the polygon, but also you can hold on alt key and your polygon turns into the normal lasso tool. So you can hold on control. You don't have to go to the starting point. You can hold on control and click, and it can create the selection. So once again, with the polygon lasso tool, you select in the straight line manner and create a polygon selection. However, while selecting polygon, while selecting with the polygon lasso tool, you can hold on alt key and now start drawing freehand, and instead you search for the start point. You can hold on control and click anywhere and you can complete your selection. Again, similar to other selection tools, holding on alt key can create subtraction of selection, and holding on shift key can add to your selection. Now next tool is the magnetic lasso tool, and this tool has got its own intelligence. So when you want to select some pictures like this, and if I want to select this image and extract it out of this background, what I can do with the magnetic lasso tool is click over here and release my mouse button and draw alongside the border, and the tool automatically creating the selection. And we have further controls to program this tool to do the better job. However, for this kind of selections today we have better tools than magnetic lasso tool, but it's a nice intelligent tool and recognizes the difference between foreground and background automatically and helps in quick selections. And it has got again the same thing. If you hold on shift key, you can add selection to it, and if you hold on Alt key you can subtract the selection. The next tool is the magic wand and quick selection tool, and to access that you can hit W or Shift and W. So this selection again has got some intelligence, so we'll look at the quick selection tool first. So with quick selection tool you have to decide the size of the brush and just paint over the area you want to select. Again it applies its own intelligence and give you a fine selection around. So without much of efforts, you see I got the selection around this image, and now I can subtract this, or I can extract this image out of its background. And another tool is the magic wand tool, and it has again got, as its name suggests, it selects the similar color. So with the magic wand tool and the quick selection tool you can again use the same properties of the selection tools, that is, holding on Shift will add to the selection and holding on Alt will subtract from the selection. So with magic wand tool you can basically select the similar colors, like if you click over here it will select the white color. So I'm holding on Shift and adding to the different shades of white within that area. Or you can select the red color. I'm again holding on Shift and adding to the selection. The selection has got one control, that is tolerance, and that controls the range of its selection. So let's see 155 tolerance, and you see it selects almost out of the red color range. Let's try 55, and now let's try with 2. So this is the way you can control the range of selection of the magic wand tool. So these were the tools related to selection. Our next tool is the crop tool, and as the name suggests, it is used to crop the images. But Adobe has given it a new meaning altogether in this version of CS6, and this tool has become more interesting than ever. So the cropping tool, when you select the crop tool, it will give you a boundary around, and you can extend this, and by doing this you can extend the canvas itself, or dragging it inside can create a cropping boundary. So once you select your cropping area, you can click on this right mark and accept the selection, and it will get cropped, or you can abandon the selection and choice and reset the whole thing. Or you can reset the cropping area. So that's about the cropping, and it has got much more interesting things behind it, and we'll talk about it later in this tutorial. Before that, let's go to the perspective crop tool. Now, perspective crop tool was there in CS5, but in a different form, and it was not part of the tools. But it has got some interesting things, and I would like to show you the capability of perspective cropping with the different image. Now this particular model, or the pack shot, is created for one of the tutorials within Photoshop, and this gives a nice opportunity to explain what is the perspective crop tool is all about. So let's select this nutrition facts label from the pack. Click and click, and now say accept, and you see that the perspective is perhaps corrected with fairly good amount of intelligence, and you see the lines are straight and the vertical lines are also almost straight. So that was perspective crop tool. Once again, let's have a recap. Click once again, and the final one, and now say accept, and Photoshop cropped the label out of the perspective image and also straightened it with a fairly nice result.